There's Justin. What's up, man?
Who gets to tune James's guitar?
So tell me about this Cunning Stunts 2. Is this supposed to be top secret? Should I not be saying this? It's been going out on the YouTubes.
Fort Worth.
They have 12 guitars at the stage site at all times. Yeah, so 12 that are ready to go. They kind of know what they want to use for certain songs. Or say we want to bring Greedy out for a guy. You guys know who Greedy is?
Yep.
Yeah, so Greedy, for you guys who don't know, is a 1959 Les Paul.
Yeah.
Yes, 59 Les Paul. Owned by several famous people over the years, very famous musicians. Kirk bought it at auction a few years ago. It's gone up in value. Fun story about Greeny. Greeny is not considered a person by American Airlines. Caused a lot of issues. So yeah, we're not leaving a $30 million guitar in the possession of American Airlines. Yeah, you can imagine how the gate agents are with that. It was kind of a fun time, a fun day. We're like, it's a person, look, you know. So anyways, but if Greeny does come out, you know, Greeny's in that mix of things. I think he paid, don't quote me on this, it was like $3 million or something like that, or maybe it was 12. Kirk is stipulation in it's either his will or the guitar's will, and somebody's in there that it needs to be passed down to somebody or bought by somebody who's going to play it. So they don't want it in a museum, anything like that. The stipulation's that. It travels with his guitar tech in hand. It's a soft shell case, so it's kind of a funny thing. It's like it's a fun story. Every time I see it, I'm like, yeah. But anyways, so the band has 12 guitars apiece down here on the stage, as well as 12 back in the tuning room ready to go, just in case for whatever, as well as the contingency of a bunch of others in the trucks just ready in case they decide, hey, I want that weird guitar from 1986 today. Right, so all said and done, about 64 guitars total on this tour, 6 drum sets. We're up to 8 microphones, rather 14 microphones, and 8 guitar pedals on the stage at all times. We have a slew of those things going on. About a bajillion strings going on. Again, it's crazy. The other thing you guys will notice about the stage, we don't have a lot of pedals going on. So a lot of bands like the Dead & Co, for example, you see John Mayer playing like 80,000 pedals. We don't do that in the metal world. The techs actually press the buttons down for when the songs are about to change, right? So it's a little bit cool. The band doesn't have to worry about pressing anything to change it, other than the wah pedals. That's the only thing they have to do that they want to do on themselves custom. Again, they're scattered throughout the stage just so they can go to any points they want. The other thing you guys will see on stage over here are these monitors. So we have the ones that don't have the M72 logo floating around are wedge monitors. Those are essentially used so the band can hear what's going on as a whole, so they can hear the show, because they're not in the line array that you guys would have for the speakers out there that you're hearing the great show from, right? So they have those kind of coming back, as well as what they call in-ear monitors, where they can hear specific things. So say James wants to hear Lars, or Lars wants to hear a count from something, or get something like that. Those will be directly in their ears, and we'll talk more about that when we get over. So that's kind of controlled from over. In Montreal. So welcome to the Snake Pit, guys. I know you guys have already seen it, but pretty cool to be down here alone, right? With nobody in here to check it out. Just talking a little bit about our thing. I do want to mention we were up above there. I forgot to tell you about it, but we did. We were standing right over the pyro hole. Some of you guys told me to talk about it up there. Those little holes, and you kind of see one. I saw it. Yeah, you kind of see it on the stage right now. Yeah, the little square down there. So that's where that pyro comes up out of, right? It shoots out of there. That's what a lot of the stuff going on under the stage. We have about 12 of those shots at any given time in there. They don't need to be replenished. They're all ready to go. They're not being actively done. They're controlled by a button, a playback system. There's a pyro guy on. You guys are wondering why isn't it marked? The band is just that professional at this point. They kind of know where it is. You know, it's not like a lot of things. You'd think we would do that with James after his accident in '88 Montreal, but no, we're good. They know their cues. They just know where to stand, right? They're going to be on the microphones during those points. You know, there's a lot of safety things in that. So they want a clean look on that stage. We have had accidents in the past. It does happen in the touring industry. One time in Germany, one of the triggers went off while the pyro was stored in a shipping container. It was an interesting day. Yeah, so you heard it go, and you're like, what's going on here? Thankfully, everyone was safe. Our pyro guy got a little burned here and there, but you know, all said and done, accidents do happen. It's a very dangerous industry. But what's not dangerous is snake bait. No actual snakes down here. So, guys are wondering how the snake bait came to be. Back in, we're trying to figure out the date still. One of the managers of the band was dining in New York City, and one of the kitchen tables, going to the kitchen tables, like back in the chef's table, said, why don't we apply this to a concert? And thus the snake bait was formed. Yeah, so ever since then we've done that. We're up to about 500-600 in here when we're at capacity. It doesn't feel that way. You guys felt it on the first show. You kind of move around. Definitely a different snake pit than we've had in the past with the dips and things. You can get close to the band members, get higher. Some great sight lines in here. It's really cool, right? Like, it's a little bit different. If you guys look up too, you have these speakers up here. It's one of the first times we've actually done speakers towards the snake pit, so you guys can kind of hear the concert a little better. Yeah, so in years past, you were kind of like, I can hear the band, you can hear Lars drumming, you don't hear that as much anymore because of that. Those speakers are specifically designed by Meyer Sound to help with that. Those are the same speakers that are distilled with black and whiskey. So Metallica is the only ones in the world that have those speakers right there designed for them. Yeah, so they're proprietary to them. They'll never go to any other band or anything like that. They don't have certain frequencies in there that are specific to the band to make the band sound this way, right? So anyways, this line right here, hopefully we'll see something tonight. I don't know if Rob's gonna make it up. If you guys have seen the show before, usually Rob does a little surf through the crowd right here. That's the line you can see it go through there. I don't know why he didn't do it the last show. He might have not just been feeling it. It's called the Ricky. What is that for? Ricky Slater. Yeah, makes sense, right? The famous surfer. Yeah. So it's a pretty cool thing that goes on. Now, smoke a cigar. If you look very closely on our lovely chairs there, you can see we have some great labels there where Papa Head's ass goes here. Anyone see it? You see on the chair? There's a label on the back of the chair there. It's a little dull now, but oh, thank you. The back ass. You see it? I'm a little blind too. Basically, it says Papa Head's ass here. It looks cool. So that's where he'll take in a cigar. He usually smokes about 2 cigars a day. Nothing KO. We have to smoke for a while now. That's the kid comes out and sees it. Very nice to see. Yeah, this is our area where we're doing all of our technique down here.
Well, they get mad at us if we smoke a cigar.
Do as we say, not as we do. Right.
Checking our asses off, right, Mike?
So these are our towers, guys. Much like every other tour in the past, Metallica likes to do it bigger and better. This is currently the heaviest and largest touring rig in the world. Every time we do this, even though we have a smaller stage in the round compared to like a Taylor Swift or like a Beyonce, for example, we have more weight for everything because of these towers. They're huge, they're proprietary. Ed Sheeran's kind of the only one doing something similar to it right now. Not sure who ripped off who, but so anyways, yeah, we have these towers, right? You guys are probably wondering what goes into building these things. Basically what happens on like a Sunday, Monday, the production will come in with these. They've already advanced everything in the building. They come in with all the steel parts of things and the barricade. That's all of this, all the heavy stuff. There's about 40 of those trucks. 40 of those trucks come in with the crew, yes. The crew is about, I think it's up to 67 people, just for doing all of this steel work. They'll set this steel up probably about a day or two just to get it up. It's kind of the backbone, the spine, if you will, the structure of this entire show, along with the stage and all that. Once that's done, the band, the respective departments will start building things on the platform down here. So all the stuff you see in the air will be built down here. It's attached to what you call motors. So there's, I think it's 8 motors per thing, so it's 127 total motors across the board. Those motors pull everything up once it's built in about 30 seconds. Yeah, about 12,000 square feet of pressure on those chains at any given time. They're about 22,000 pounds total. Yeah, 14.1 ton total for the entire thing, all said and done. They're very heavy. They're not going to move, right? Once that's done, we'll have a position called a rigger. A rigger is basically a rock climber that goes up and they will strap themselves in. That's why you see this ladder right here. They'll walk up to the top and kind of fix anything that's going wrong up there. So if there's LEDs out and things like that, they'll fix them. They'll literally have someone with that and a cherry picker say, hey, LED 1, tower 2 is out. You need to find that. So it's LED number whatever. Anyone want to guess how many LEDs we have total?
1 million.
Get way low. Get closer.
It's at least a couple million.
It's getting there. Getting closer.
Hit it.
8.2.
36.1 million. Yeah. So So we also like to do something in Metallica land on this door, though it has gotten a little skewed. The original setup here had mostly variations of 72. So 72 divided by 36, 2. So we have 36 multiples, right? That's kind of how we're doing it. We started originally with 72 lights going around the top. That's now up to about 94. Same with the speaker sets and all that. We have 288 of these speakers going on, all said and done down here. About 140 monitors going around. I forget what the total number is. It's just they keep getting added more and more. On top of that, we have a camera crew throughout the whole thing. You can see all this. Each platform has its own, so there's 8 there, plus a live camera there and a spider cam. We'll take you to Camera World after this. It's pretty cool. It's like Mission Impossible back there. It's been pretty sweet. We have a pretty cool setup today because we see these things. Each one of those towers originally it was 9 lights for each one, making 72. We've increased that recently, as well as some lasers. All those are put up there. Can anybody guess how many balls we have total?
72 times.
72.
Okay.
Yeah, we're keeping with the theme. Some of you guys have actually asked about the platform itself over here. That is one package we sell through Super Metallica. You can party with some of your friends up there. It's I forget the cost. It's either $8,000-$7,000. You get a cooler beers. You get to sit on these nice chairs. You get a really sick view of the show, right? It's kind of cool. We take care of you. It's just a fun little platform up there. One of the weird things Metallica's had over the years. The drummer really loves it. It's like one of his favorite things. He sees people out there. He's like, "Ooh, this is cool."
I got a question.
Yeah.
All right, from load in to load out, how long of a process is
Great
that?
question. So the steel itself usually takes, I think it was a 36-hour process with a crew running 24 hours a day, just to set up, right? We'll come in after that on a Tuesday, Wednesday, and start setting all this up. Whole thing takes about a week. We do it slower. If we wanted to, it'd be about 24 hours total to set, let's say, the production stuff up. Again, the steel is its own thing. The steel is heavy and takes it's the backbone, so I'm not really counting it. I am and I'm not. So 36 hours, 24-hour crew, about 24 hours, realistically 48 to get everything up and running, just because we're taking it slow because we have the time to do it. To strike it down, you ask, when am I going to get out of here tonight? Yeah. This crew is actually ridiculously efficient. We hire some of the best people in the world. It'll be out of here by probably 4 a.m. The steel itself will stay up until tomorrow morning, and then that'll come in tomorrow night because it takes a little bit more because it's so heavy. It needs a lot of people, but the actual production stuff will be out of here very quickly, right? We're out super quick. In terms of that, we have 40 trucks for the steel. It's up to, what was our number yesterday? They keep increasing it on me, so I apologize, the number's changed today. We're up to 92 total trucks. So 92 total trucks. Our crew sizes are going up again as well. We're at about 176 of people like myself that are considered quite core crew. On top of that, we have a bunch of stagehands, about 150 of them. All said and done, about 455 people within the production realm to put on a show just for production aspect. On top of that, we hire about 355 local staff for security, all those things. All said and done, just under 1,000 people to put on a show for you guys. Yeah, in a venue. So it's kind of crazy. Yeah, it's a lot.
So the opening bands take advantage of all this?
They do. So great question. Being an opening band is one of the greatest things ever. You come in, you sleep all day, you sound check, and you're good to go. It really is a great thing. It's a nice thing, especially on something this size. So these guys come in. Yeah, so a lot of these bands will be on Metallica's record label, and that's kind of the whole thing of like, hey, we want to promote you, do that. So Greta Van Fleet, for example, recently signed over to Black & Recordings. That's kind of the whole thing of like, yeah, they're coming in. Yeah, so it's like, we might as well not, let's save the money, promote the label, that sort of thing. So music industry is all about relationships, right? All of those.
Going back,
that's kind of all that's said. Yes, sir.
Going back to the production aspect, so is it basically a week?
Give or take, yeah. So about a week to set everything up and get it down to all said and done from start to show. The first trucks will kind of come in here, give or take Sunday. Depends on the venue if they'll let us in that early or if we have something before us. In New York, for example, we had Beyonce way before us, so we couldn't get in until Wednesday. Yeah, that caused a lot of problems for us because it's rough to set all that up in that amount of time. It's possible, but it's very hard to do. Yeah, we don't want to do that. We want to take our time, make sure we're doing it right. We can do it. We have one of the greatest crews in the world, one of the most talented. We really do.
The shows are in Detroit.
Yes.
Yeah, I was about to ask
so good question. The steel itself, we have a second set of the steel, so all the structure is already headed there. It's probably staged in a parking lot, ready to go whenever they say, hey, you guys can come in. I don't know if they have football operations this week or not. I don't know if they're playing. So another thing that factors into this is what sports teams are playing throughout there.
So there's two sets of steel.
One set of the stage and one set of the production stuff. This stuff will go, and again, we'll break it down tonight, and it'll be on its way to Detroit. It'll sit there for a day or so. The whole crew usually has a day off on Monday just to relax and do all that. Monday, some of the production people will go in, kind of do their first walkthrough. Tuesdays when everyone starts kind of working again, the important people, the heads of the department. Wednesday's the day everyone starts really working again. Like that's kind of the push to like, hey, let's get everything up and ready to go, right? The steel will be going up the entire time, but yeah, we kind of Yeah, so it's kind of nice we're doing that. You guys are also probably wondering how we get it back and forth to Europe, for example. Another good question. Basically what happens is if we can save the money, we'll put it on a sea container and it's what we call slow boat it over. We'll pack everything in there and just let it kind of go through the Atlantic like this for a bunch of Exactly. You know, for the most part though, for the States, we're not flying anything anywhere, we're trucking around. The band does have a few warehouses. I can't officially tell you where some of them are. It's kind of a crazy place. It's literally the size of this, just filled with all set pieces, all the old equipment, things like that. I had to find pieces of doors before this size. I was like, where is she? This is our monitor world over here. Monitor and the opening acts also come out of here traditionally like they would for normal lighting and things like that. So monitor world, if you guys go to a normal concert, this is usually where the best place to sit to see the show is. This is where they're controlling everything up. In Metallica world, that's not true for us. We have things everywhere. We have them under the stadium. If you look up top there, that's actually kind of our sound and video, our lighting area up there. They just get a better sight line from it. Right in here, the only thing Metallica related is their monitors. Again, talking about those in-ears, right? So it's not a science, it's an art. It really is. So say James wants to hear more of Lars, or Lars wants a quick track, not that he uses a quick track, but if he did, you can kind of hear it in there. That's where he put it. They can control it and say, hey, I need more volume on line 2. I need to hear more Lars. I need to hear more Kirk, that sort of thing. So if you ever see that, what's that?
Like, how do they indicate that while they're on stage?
The bands?
Yeah.
They'll do so they can communicate back and forth via them. Most bands you'll see will actually go up and they can talk into a microphone that's on stage that they press a certain button that says, hey, talk back to this front of house, and you'll never really notice it. You'll come up and they'll be like, hey, need more whatever, line of drums in ear 2. Metallica will sit there and tap on it and they know what's going on and they'll tell the text will know how to relay it over. Yeah, they have a really complicated in-ear monitor. It's one of the best in the world sort of thing. So it's like, it's down to a science with them, really is. So they'll usually tap and say something like that. Like that's the cue of like, you know, you'll barely see it. That's why Metallica's one of the best. They hide a lot of the things you guys would normally see. But as for us, that's where that's happening right there. That's Monitor World. We do have Pro Tools World over here, so the band also records every concert. The guy in there, anybody record? Do any recording of music? Yeah, so Pro Tools guy comes in, basically can adjust some volume levels, make it sound really good for you guys when you're releasing services, right? No secret, we do it. You know, you'll see it on YouTube.
Yeah. Is there a way to stream specific shows? I know you can buy the CDs and stuff.
So we don't typically do a live stream. This is not what we do. We're not doing like the fish thing all the time.
Yeah.
When we stream stuff, we do it big. So we do the theaters and cinemas and things like that. Fun fact about those cinema shows, we are the only act in the history to do 2 spider cams. Yeah, which is crazy. NFL really the only other thing that does 2.
Right.
So when we're doing it like a little bit bigger than a lot of bands are doing it.
but it's not.
Band doesn't really like doing the live streams unless it's like done right. Part of that's that Pro Tools thing to make the band sound how they want to sound, right? It's no secret that they're fixing some stuff up here and there. Trying to limit it, but it's like, you know, you can see it. You can look on the internet and see what's going on, but that's what it is. They're recording it, making sure it sounds good for you guys. It's beauty of metal. We can kind of fix things a little bit. Cool. Well, let's go to like real backstage and check it out. About 15 miles worth of cable for video alone. About 2 miles
15
for audio,
miles.
I think it's up to 12 for the lighting. All extra. Yeah, the name of the game Metallica is contingency. We can afford it, so we're going to do that every time. And again, we are going to afford like in working areas, so there might be some people sleeping. We'll talk more about that when getting through the you can see kind of the labels for some of the opening acts here. This is where the parts that get out before all of us and they're out of the way by the end of the show. We come to here, this is the cool part, guys. Here, a really special thing. We haven't really been able to do this much on this tour because we're always in a little tracked area. This is our video world. This is where we're kind of like Mission Impossible style. So all your videos up the wall being controlled from in here. You can see all that cable involved in here. One of the first things we lay down. You can see it underneath us everywhere. It's going outside in various places. Take as many pictures as you want. I don't think anybody's sleeping in here, so.
Well, if they are, they're about to go viral.
When you say that's for video, that's for like production.
Yeah, so like the live video, you can see how many cameras we have there. Basically what's happening is they have a camera out there. The video director will call camera 2 shot Mars in in their headphones in there.
Oh, gotcha.
Whoever's controlling in there literally has a controller. Those are the automated cameras in there. This side is more, they're more straightforward. They're kind of just switching back and forth. Then we also have this pyrotechnics ball, kind of saying, hey, here's what we're doing. Again, there's a video director kind of saying, hey, here's what we're doing. If you guys move over. You guys are wondering, what do I do? Do I eat on days, things like that while I'm doing this with you guys? So they'll feed us. They have a whole catering. It's part of our tour. Well, this one doesn't travel with us, but a lot of tours will travel with a caterer. It's part of their thing to feed a crew of 140 people, plus everybody else, because we can't get off site during the day, right? You can peek your head in when we go around here. Don't like go into there, but you can see it's pretty good here. Pretty good. I wish. We'll sell that with the package. We're just gonna place the rest. We get some food. Out there for you right now to travel around. So you can kind of see the diagrams on here that's going on, where all the staging pieces are. You can kind of see it's one giant puzzle. So take all this in, because this is what it travels in, all the way down here, all of these pieces. Pretty insane when you see it like that. You know, you guys see it as a stage, but imagine having to bring this in and out, and that's 2 rows right there. Yeah, it's a couple trucks worth just for the stage, right? Basically, you know, the person in charge of that stage, Phil, the stage manager, Eddie, you saw him up there. He's helping to facilitate building this thing, telling all these people where to go within there. Obviously, you see these diagrams, they'll mark them and say, hey, this goes here, this goes here. It's all process flow, right? And then it'll be up. It's one of the first things that comes up. Again, we have 92 total trucks on here, but we have some in today just so you can kind of see what it's like. Trucks themselves are parked outside right now and all there, but you can kind of see what's going on. Opening access here. Basically, these trucks will pull into here, as well as some docks, figuring venue for us. We'll tell them, hey, what's going where. We have Eddie, who you saw on the stage a little bit. He had the dark hair. He kind of controls that and says, hey, we're going to bring a truck to here, radios over to myself. Whoever department says, hey, we're ready for you on dock 4. We'll give you hands to push stuff in there to put it into the truck. That truck's on its merry way. We'll load some of them back here as well, just because we have the forklifts for them here. All said and done, like I said, we'll be out of here by the latest person, probably about 3. Yep, it does. You know, it does have accents here and there. We recently had one coming out of New York.
Side of everything rolling down.
Yep, the National Highway Authority doesn't like us all rolling in. So there are laws about it where we can only travel X, Y number in certain states. Yeah, so they do travel in convoys just to make sure they're okay. That's our merch truck back there. We have the whole truck just filled with merch. Right, comes in every day. Yep.
Help yourselves.
Yeah, don't go with that. I didn't say anything. And there's yeah, it's pretty cool, right? Yeah, you can kind of take it in a little bit here. Again, it's just a small little taste of what it is. The rest of the trucks are parked outside, off-site, but you can see them out there. Just FYI, if you walk outside, you'll see them. Crazy. It's another hard part where you park 92 trucks, right? Like,
A bunch of them back in.
Yeah.
We just
Yeah.
walked.
So especially in like a New York City, where do you send that? We got to send it off like literally 10 miles away, and then we have a thing called staging, where it's like, hey, we're gonna bring 3 trucks through here. Yeah, it's a very complicated process, like moving a little city of things. It's really kind of a fine tango.